7 points between these teams.
That's Colin Ryan again, just what I was saying there, Gerard knocking it down to himself, and away he goes again.
Such a skillful player. Hand pass there was a little errant, but he gets a chance to get it back again. McGrath wasn't anticipating, but one man who's always anticipating is Pat Donlan, giving tremendous leadership in there as far as Shane O'Donnell. He's caught another one. He seems unstoppable. Good vision to pick out Conlon, and before Carney can arrive, can he get the chance in? He's been fouled, and it's going to be a free for 20 metres out. But they are playing around with the Cork defence there. They're causing major consternation, and Cork just do not seem to have the response.
Well, Shane O'Donnell, look, he's not a big man. Great catch in front of Shane O'Neill again. They're playing lovely ball into him, but you know, Shane O'Neill is one of the most accomplished defenders in the country over the last 6 or 7 years, and Shane O'Donnell is just giving them a roasting out there today.
Shane O'Donnell is only 19 years of age. He's from Éire Óg in Ennis, and he is a UCC student, so he knows a lot about Cork and Cork hurling. Must have been frustrated not to get a chance the last day. A young lad, under 21 medal winner already this year, didn't play last year's team, and 3 goals in this year's replayed final. What a story. Colin Ryan's got his 5th pointed free. 25-year-old, giving these Clare fans some wonderful early moments in this All-Ireland final, played in lovely sunshine.
And it just shows you, Gerard,
September.
Probably 2 best forwards Clare have had all year. Tony Kelly and Podge Collins really haven't seen the ball. It's just the way the game has been going so far, and still they've put up a score of 3-9 in the first 26 minutes.
A long way to go. Here's Brendan Bogler here, man given his debut in the championship by Tony Considine, the former manager. Played back in here, and they go for another one, but this one has gone wide. One of the few wides, just a second. Colin Ryan, the player, was trying his luck from 65 metres out, but going very nicely in the 27th minute. Galvin again, first to the ball. Cork are going to need a lift from somewhere, needing to stay in the match now, getting up close to half-time. Brian Murphy, one of those experienced campaigners, up as far as Patrick Horgan. In comes Conor Hahn. He's shown very prominently so far. Back out here as far as Cian McCarthy. McCarthy's shot has gone away to the left-hand side, and that's the second shot he's tried, and unfortunately, from his point of view, failed with his shooting.
Jerry, a huge difference in the game is when a Clare man gets the ball, he's looking up and they have time on the ball, they're playing it in front of the forwards. But when a Cork defender gets the ball, he's under so much pressure from the Clare defenders. He's hitting the ball anywhere. They have to fight so hard for the ball up front, and that's what happened there. Eventually, good ball out, and Cian McCarthy again, the second poor wide he's had.
Park Kelly dropping it towards John Conlon's wing. Comes back out here to Lochorn McLaughlin. Trying to drive Cork forward now. Next 5 minutes important to pick off some scores. Inside towards Cronin, let it bounce off his hand. Back there to gather was Conor Ryan. Wisely playing the ball out towards Podge Collins. Podge Collins keeping the movement going. Pat Donlan now reading the game brilliantly. Back in there towards O'Donnell, being marked by Shane O'Neill. O'Donnell again causing problems, trying to steal that ball away from Shane O'Neill. And the 27-year-old playing in his 7th championship season gets it forward eventually towards Luke O'Farrell. Helping it on here is Lochorn McLaughlin. 45 metres out from the Clare goal. Steadies himself, but didn't do enough steadying. And that was a horrible miss on his part. It's 4 wides now by Cork. Put under a lot of pressure, as you say, but that time was a golden opportunity for him to get a second point.
Yeah, there were a couple of bad wides in a row, which, you know, if to put them over, it keeps them in the game. But 8 points down now, and the fight maybe starting to go out of Cork a little bit. You know, you'd feel they need a goal now just to reignite them.
That's broken down once again towards Cian McCarthy. Helped on here by Stephen MacDonald. Fired in there towards Park Cronin. Almost seemed to lose his footing. Being marked by Cian Dillon. The sweeper there at the back effectively is David McInerney, reading it like an old master, and then playing it down the field here. Cut out this time by the substitute, Stephen White. And White knocks this one in towards Luke O'Farrell, but too near the goalkeeper. It's a hit and hope one. The more measured, more creative play is coming from Clare. And every time they take the ball down into Cork's attack, you feel something could happen. And it might happen here again. Once more, it's Colin Ryan. Tony Kelly trying to help him out. And Cork are just defending now for dear life and getting the ball away and looking for some respite. And what can JBM and the selection committee do? Tough phase in the game now for them. Haven't scored for over 8.5 minutes. Looks worried. Colin Ryan to hit this one. Almost looks calm and composed. broken down here well. This time it's Conor O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan again in towards Park Cronin. It's one-on-one in there until the reinforcements arrive, and that's Seamus Harnedy. Harnedy slings it over his right shoulder and puts it over the bar. He's a really good, gallant young player, playing in just his 6th championship match, continuing to mature and to grow as a player. Helped out there by Park Cronin, down as far as Harnedy. He had an immense amount of work to do, made an angle for himself, did well, 3-9 to 1-8.
Yeah, lovely sidestep, and he's had a great summer, you know, burst on the scene, and they're going very much route one, Cork, when they get the chance in on top of Park Cronin. He hasn't really caught any clean ball, but he is breaking some balls and a few scores coming after.
So 7 points between them once again. Cork trying to close the gap, Clare trying to deny them, and Tony Kelly slipping the hand pass out here to Galvin. Slips on the ground, taking it up here is Chris Joyce. In as far as Luke O'Farrell, trying to win his battle there with David McInerney. Helped out here by Lorcan McLaughlin. In there as far as Park Cronin, spent the entire match playing it full forward. Looks to put this one inside the left-hand upright, just half a metre wide, I would say. The fans behind the goal think it was in. They're looking for a Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is going to be used. So was it in? The fans behind the goal thought it was, and the referee James McGrath deciding that technical help is needed. What do you think? Yeah,
I think Jimmy Barry was right on line. I thought it might be over the bar, might have squeezed in, but my eyesight's not as good as it used to be.
Looks to be in. Let's wait for confirmation. A point from Park Cronin, his first of the game.
Yeah, and Jerry, I just feel the last couple of minutes Clare have maybe got a little bit, sloppy on the ball. They're maybe just got a bit casual for the last few minutes. The last ball that Colin Ryan got it, Conor McGrath was free down the wing. He didn't give the ball, and you know, if Cork can pick off another point or two before half time, they'll be happy enough.
Cian McCarthy, back it comes here. Conor O'Sullivan, it's just about reaches Harnedy. Inside towards Park Cronin again. Breaks it down. Dillon having a busy time of it now against Park Cronin. Ball came back out, waiting, and the referee again has blown his whistle. Foul on Cronin, he's decided, and it's got to be a free in. Clare are questioning it. Well, the pointless at this stage, but it's got to mean a free, which Pat Horgan will presumably take. Came into the back of him here.
I think it was
clumsy and awkward, but it was not necessarily a foul.
Well, that's 3 frees I think that Park Cronin has won, and you'd have to say the 3 of them were very marginal. They're 50-50, and Cork have got the benefit of them, and all of a sudden, like, the gap is closing again, and you have to say it's a bit like the last day. Cork sticking in the game and staying with Clare when Clare are doing most of the hurling.
Well, they've got quality and skills, this Cork team, no question of doubt about that. When you get to an All-Ireland final, you have to be a very, very good team of players, but they've got great character, immense fighting ability as well, which has endeared them to the fans. Pat Horgan to take this, and Pat Horgan knocks it over the bar. He's got 4. 3 of the 4 have come from frees, and it's 3-9 to 110, or in points, 18 points to 13. 2 minutes to go to half time.
I know, Joe, we're talking about the sweeper system all year. Clare were 8 points up a couple of minutes ago. It's down to 5. Would you not bring back the sweeper maybe and just defend your lead and tag on a few points? I know it's a long way out with a half to go, but
I think Davy Fitzgerald is concerned that Cork have the players who could shoot from outside, as it were, from around 45 metres and shoot with accuracy. It's one of the reasons I think he hasn't necessarily gone for it, but maybe he will. It's going to be a free which Anthony Nash will come and take. Out to left half back he will go, and Stephen White will leave it there for him.
Yeah, and you have to remember Cork playing with a nice little bit of a breeze. It's not very strong, but it is certainly favouring Cork in the first half.
2 goals and 5 points already scored in this year's championship by the goalkeeper. Comes again. Dropped in there dangerously, well batted out by the Clare defence this time, out as far as Brendan Bugler. Aware that he could be hooked and challenged. Harnedy was the last one, and he's left it behind. Horgan's got it, he stole it away, and he put it over the bar. Well, a wonderful bit of pinching that time by Pat Horgan. When that ball came out, Clare looked to have it. It was Bugler who was making his way out, then dispossessed there, left it behind after the ball was intercepted and over the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. No great argument from the Clare players. Even I felt maybe he was fouled coming out there. Daniel Carney came in a little bit high, but only 4 points in it now again.
1 minute of added time being played, which means we've got about another little under 90 seconds still to go. 4 points between the teams, where it was 8 not all that terribly long ago. It's been some first half. 8, nearly 9 minutes since Clare scored. Colin Ryan hoping that Clare will get the last point of this first half, just to stamp their absolute authority on it. It's stolen again. Brian Murphy this time, nipping in. The 31-year-old got to that, didn't get a free after that. The referee allowed it to develop and continue. It comes out to Patch Collins, and Patch Collins trying to get space for himself. Clare wanted to finish with a score, and Clare people thought there was a foul there on Collins, which wasn't given, and it comes back as far as Anthony Nash. And both sets of supporters are rather puzzled by some of the decisions, but out it comes anyway, out of defence. Brilliantly caught there by Conor Ryan, trying to feed it to a colleague here. Well into stoppage time, just a few seconds remaining in this first half. Cork have it back, and it's Cian McCarthy once again. Back in there, read superbly by Pat O'Connor, the highly durable left half back. Then there, as far as Brendan Bogler is switched across. Ryan once again, that's Conor Ryan, into the inside forwards. Shane O'Neill determined he was going to win the next ball, but he's left his man behind. And here comes O'Donnell. He's got 3 goals. Can he possibly get 4 before half-time? Closed down well by the Cork defenders this time. Takes 2, Shane O'Neill helped out, and then Conor O'Sullivan came across, got it, knocked the ball away. The referee has blown his whistle, I think, and it's half-time at Croke Park. The referee signalling that that is it for the opening half. A half where the name of Shane O'Donnell pretty much rings around the stadium here.
Half-time in the 2013 All-Ireland Hurling Final replay. Clare leading Cork 3 goals and 9 points to 1 goal and 11 points. And just a reminder to you that that is a 4-point advantage to Clare. Cyril Farr, Liam Sheedy, Eddie Brennan here with me in studio. Cyril, replays often don't live up to the expectation from the drawn game, which was so exciting. No fear of that on this occasion.
Unbelievable, Michael. I thought now that it couldn't, you know what I mean? It couldn't last it. But again, we have score after score, goal after goal, points drill a minute. Like young Shane O'Donnell being brought in for Derek O'Connor was slightly injured. He gets 3 goals, not 1, not 2, 3. But even getting them goals, like Cork are still in the game. Like you know, Cronin's going in the edge of the square, caused a lot of trouble. Both sets of backs, when they get on the ball, are doing kind of daft things with under pressure maybe. But there's some fantastic score. Cork have hung in with points from Pat Horgan, Conor Lehan. Typical Cork, like not playing that well out of the game, but yet they're only down to 4 points at half-time. They've taken the bullets from Clare. It's a kind of a reversal of the last day really, but then and they're hanging in. Now I'd say Clare were quite happy to get to half-time, the 4 points up, because the last 9 or 10 minutes I don't think they were scoring at all. There was no ball getting, they were actually winning their puck outs at all. So like it'll be interesting the second half again. Now Clare are in the driving seat. It's still anyone's game, because to me both sets of forwards are causing trouble. Even though Clare have got 3 goals and Cork the forwards are causing trouble to the Clare backs as well. It's like a game where you're going to get a couple of more goals.
Well, there's every chance of that. Both sets of forwards might be causing trouble. Even there's one forward in particular causing a bit of trouble out there. Walter Walsh came on and was man of the match last year in the replay for Kilkenny, and this like Shane O'Donnell, he has given Cork some problems.
Yeah, he has. I mean, but in fairness, his teammates have done very well for him as well. I have to say, you know, the first 2 goals that he got. But I mean, you know, we spoke about the great, you know, Clare looking for a good start at the start of the match, and you know, in fairness to them, they got it again today. You know, they got that 5 points up after 7 minutes. And here's Pat Donlan. You wouldn't say there's much on, but like, you know, all day long, the Cork half back line to me would be non-existent. You know, here's a man coming straight through the middle. No one comes to meet him. There's no way a player should be allowed to come that far. He gives a wonderful pass out to Shane O'Donnell, and he get, in fairness to Anthony Nash, he gives you no chance because he actually hit the ball off of the ground. But you can see Pat Donlan right through the middle, wonderful hand pass and a fantastic finish. And you know, in fairness to Clare, they've looked very, very busy in that forward line. But what it's meant is that the Cork backs are hurling nervous in that first half. You know, they're hurling very, very nervous, and they're very, very jittery. They're not attacking the ball. Shane O'Neill, who's one of the best defenders in my eyes to attack the ball, hasn't been attacking the ball. Here's a routine ball. Conor O'Sullivan missed it. In fairness to Conor McGrath again, very, very unselfish. Right man, right place. Shane O'Donnell, wonderful finish again. I mean, it was a textbook start for Clare, and as I said, given that pushing, and you know, it looked at that stage it was going to be a rout. But you know, you have to say full credit to the Rebels. You know, they haven't gone away. You know, they've sort of dragged themselves back in. But you would say that Clare have been the better team in that first half.
Davy, delighted with that. Cork really, really needed something. Anthony Nash came forward for them, Eddie. We will have a look at the free that led to this, but
they needed the electric shock at that stage to get them back in gear, and they got it.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Sir Liam was making the point there about the Cork half back line being in trouble. They made a change to the half back line. You would think then they couldn't fall for another one, and they did.
Yeah, there wasn't that much ball with it to Clare forwards, but when they went into it was lovely crossfield ball. They're very confident on the ball, and they're very, very natural. Here's again a crossfield ball here again. Or you'd imagine they're going to come to the here, breaks here. Look, another little flick up. Now, he's a terrible lot to do here. This is called the tennis score, really. It's a great finish. There's two backs on. Look what he has. He has nowhere to swing. He hasn't anywhere you can't hand pass it, or even to kick the ball. Now, he's only a young fella, 19 years, but look what he does. A little flick down, just like a playing tennis, into the back net. Again, Anthony Nash, who is a top keeper, cannot do anything about it. Two backs on him here. Like, it's unbelievable to think that he has 3 goals and a point. Now, watch this. Throws it up. Down, you can't, who can block. Nash comes. It's a brilliant. It's probably his best goal because it wasn't as clear cut as the other 2 chances.
But I think it was one of the downsides of having a guy like Shane O'Neill full back, because Shane O'Neill's natural instinct was actually to go outwards.
Yes.
If a natural full back, he would have said, right, I need to mind the house here. Yeah. The most important thing there was to hold your goal. Even if the ball broke out that side, it was going to be no danger. The ball was outside, but he actually was caught completely on the wrong side of Shane O'Donnell. And as I said, a great finish, as Sir rightly pointed out. It was a wonderful finish by Shane. I mean, 3 goals and a pint, and he's not even supposed to start today.
And that's that. Okay, we are halfway there, but there's still a lot of hurling to be done before we can say whether the cup is heading Lee side or heading Shannon side. The second half coming up shortly. Keep an eye out later for our final big competition of the season here on the programme. There is a trip to Abu Dhabi and plenty of spending money in the offering. And that's all after today's match has finished. Roy Keane here supporting the Cork men once again. He was looking a little bit pensive earlier on. Maybe he heard the result from Old Trafford. United beaten at home by West Brom. Anyway, just a reminder here at Croke Park at half-time, Clare leading Cork 3 goals and 9 points to 1 goal and 11 points. Let's get some further thoughts on the hurling replay as we head back down to the touchline to hear from Clare McNamara.
Yes, Michael, I have 2 men here from the Countess, and they're both full of hope still, I think. Tomas, Cork chasing the game again today. You were 8 points down, but now only 4.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the first day. This time out on ground, Clare have taken those chances. The change of the full forward has worked a treat. Shane O'Donnell in the edge of the square. This time the possession that Clare are getting in front of goal, they're actually paying they're getting the scores and getting the goals. And I mean, at one stage, being 8 points down, it looked like a game over. But to be fair to Cork, they've rallied. They've kept fighting. They've kept getting the points. The Anthony Nash goal was a major tonic for us because we were in deep trouble. We were in deep trouble in our full back line, areas of our half back line, midfield, and there seemed to be an awful lot of bunching up and forward. We were playing Park Ronan kind of in between full forward and the centre forward position, and we need to up the game. We need to keep it wide. Conor Lehan got 1 or 2 balls that he ran at defenders because it was open and it was wide. So I mean, one thing is we were in a similar position. Cork were in a similar position in the draw match. 2 points down. They're 4 points down now. They're still in the game, but we need to start the second half much better than we did the last time. We need to take the game to Clare now at this stage, but it's about Clare's game now at this stage.
Ger, Shane O'Donnell, that was a good call anyway. Again, though, this day, Clare are in charge. They need to make that count.
Well, sure, we couldn't have even dreamt of an explosive start like that. They came in so well in the first 20 minutes. Now, what really worries me, Clare, is in the last 10 minutes, that 10 minutes before half-time virus has struck Clare again, where they faded out of the game, 8 points up after 25 minutes. Now it's down to 4. So really you're back to square one again. So now Cork will be looking and say, listen, we're right back in this game. Whoever gets the next goal now. So it's vital that Clare start the second half like they start the first half. Keep the one-man full forward inside and keep the ball open. But the Clare half-back line need to tidy up. They need to tighten up on their men, 4 across that line, and the ball isn't being won as cleanly as it was in the semi-final. They need to get that act together. If they do, Clare will win the game.
Okay, Tomas, Ger, thank you. We cannot wait for the second half, Michael.
We certainly can't, Clare. Through much of that first half, you would have to say, Sir Farrell, that Cork were just living on scraps. The blows they were taking, those goals going in, they were just hanging, but they did hang in there. Got a couple of points here and there. Yeah. They just kept them at it.
Typical of Cork. Any little chance they got, the boys were even saying before him that there were 7 or 8 down. They needed a score to just keeping it. And when they got the chance of points, the likes of Conor Lehan, Pat Horgan, these boys, Seamus Harron, they got them just over there. And now, instead of being 8 or 9 down, now they're only 4 down. The last day there was 2 points, and Clare done a lot of hurling. This stage, Clare in a stronger position since they're 4 up. It's double what they were up. And if they start the second half well, but you can't let Cork back in, like Joe referred to there. Definitely, even though the Cork backs are under pressure, the Clare backs are under as much pressure because every time the ball goes in, even though the ones are clearing, there seems to be panic. And a few times they're on the ball and there's turnovers. Cork have got 3 points from turnovers from Clare, had possession to Clare that didn't. So whoever again Clare to win have to start the first 10 minutes well to take the game to Cork.
Cork back out, as we can see out of the field, just waiting for Clare Okay, Cyril makes the point that Clare are leading by more than they were the last day, but they'll be thinking to themselves, surely, leading by 4, they should be leading by 14.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they should be out of sight. In my view, they were by far a better team. But you know, if I was, if I was in the Clare dressing room, I'd be very happy in terms of the position they find themselves in. At the end of the day, they're 4 points up. They'd have taken that before the match. If you were told coming in they'd be 4 points up at half time, I'm sure they'd be very, very happy. I mean, their forward line are potent at this stage. If they get the ball in, they're well on top. In fairness to Stephen White, he has steadied the ship a little bit. He's gone in on John Conlon. John Conlon was having a massive game. But overall, I think at this stage, it still is Clare's to lose. And like, if they want to get a start, anything like they got in the first half, they'll be out of sight within the next 10 minutes. But you know, Cork, you'd expect them to give a big 10 minutes. So again, you know, 4 points, nice cushion. I still expect Clare to hold on.
Oh, you can see a change in the Cork team there, by the way. Stephen Moylan comes in, he replaces Luke O'Farrell. Okay, time to hand back to Michael Duignan and Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. Well, that means that Cork have now used, of course, 2 of their possible substitutions. And the Cork medical officer was telling me that his son Brian is one of those all around the globe watching today. He's in Sydney, and a friend in London, Catherine Holhan, also watching. Hope you're all enjoying it. You are if you're from Clare, you can be sure, because they're 4 ahead. 8 points up after 25 minutes. Now, who's going to get the next score in this match? It's Lorcan McLaughlin straight away, and challenged high there. Challenges by John Conlon, I think, and it's going to be a free for Cork, and they've brought Patrick Horgan all the way out to midfield to take this.
Yeah, Jared, very early in the second half with a huge, you know, really a huge free now. Like Clare were 8 points up. If Pat Horgan scores this, it's back to 3. And,
just an indication of the breeze. It's not that terribly strong.
No, I think it might have died a little bit, but you know, Pat Horgan very much said to Anthony Nash he was coming out to take it. But as I said, 8 points will be down to 3 if he puts this over, and that's some comeback again by Cork.
John Conlon gets the yellow card for that foul straight at the second half. And Horgan, who got 5 points in the first half, tries his luck with this one. It was a fair distance out. He's missed it anyway, put it away to the right. First one of the second half, and the 5th in all for Cork. Cork hoping now to try and up their physical approach in the second half, you could be certain. But it was Clare who were the dominant force throughout most of the first half and should be further ahead. That yellow card for John Conlon then, so he has to be careful. In midfield, Daniel Carney loses it, and out comes Podge Collins, feeding it here as far as Tony Kelly, right on the sideline. Trying to get loose here, and he does so, succeeds brilliantly. Got a lovely bit of force behind that. Brilliant accuracy. He's some Clare. 2 points for Kelly, and Clare have got the first score of the second half.
Yeah, Jared, that's an incredible score. Look, on the sideline, nothing on, 3 Cork men around him, and he cuts back inside. And there's very, very few players in the game could take a score like that. What a player for a 19-year-old.
Well, they've got a crop of wonderfully talented young players. On the 21 champions 09 and in that 12 and 13, of course, as well. That's Cian Dillon put under pressure, needs a bit of help, and Pat Donlan playing like a wise old head. He's only 28 years of age with a lot of experience. Conor O'Sullivan now trying to pick out the perfect pass all the way down towards the full forward line. It's Horgan who got it, balanced it beautifully, and he is fouled, and it's going to be a free in, and this should go over and be Cork's first score of the second half and put 4 between them again. Or are they going to think about the goalkeeper? They're thinking about Nash. That's the big cheer you can hear in the background. Anything on the 20-metre line are close to it now at this stage. They're thinking about it, but they've told him to go back. He was on his way out.
Yeah, but Jared, just before that piece of skill by Pat Horgan there, that ball was coming down out of the clouds. Great first touch, and brought it in, and he was trying to bring the ball onto the 21-yard free for the free and calling up Anthony Nash, but the referee brought it back a couple of yards and he just tapped it over the bar.
He's done exactly that. So first of the second half for him and for Cork. 6 points for Pat Horgan. And now there's got to be another change, and the familiar figure of Tom Kenny is going to come on to try and maybe add a steadying influence. So off goes Daniel Carney. He was a real star in the drawn match, not as prominent today, and Kenny comes on as a direct replacement. And Kenny's gone into midfield, 31-year-old, 53 championship appearances in all for him. A very experienced man, the most experienced of the Cork team in there now. Lorcan McLaughlin, he passes it back. It almost puts Conor O'Sullivan in difficulty, and they play around to try and get themselves out of trouble, and they succeed with Shane O'Neill. Very determined burst out of the back there, in over the head of Conor Lehan, gathered up well by David McInerney for Clare. Back into the heart of the Cork defence again. Stephen MacDonald back down. Oh, what a catch that is. Brilliantly taken by Conor Ryan. One of the best catches of the match so far. Batted back out again. Tom Kenny back out into the middle, out as far as Brendan Bogley here, pursued by Lorcan McLaughlin. Batted back out here, it's Brian Murphy who's now back there in that Cork full back line, helping out Conor O'Sullivan. Murphy's there, Shane O'Neill and Conor O'Sullivan. That's the makeup really of the Cork full back line for the second half. O'Donnell's gone out into the half back line. Meanwhile, Stephen Moylan hits it and puts it over the bar. Will he be the star of this match? His dad was the man of the match in the 1976 All-Ireland final, Cork against Wexford, and he's come on as a sub at half-time and he's put it over.
Yeah, lovely tidy score. Here's Conor Ryan just before that fantastic catch, which I'd have to say the Cork backs in the last 15 minutes really have got on top of the Clare forwards. They're cleaning up, they're picking up all the breaking ball, and they're doing very, very well, and Cork are really back in this game now with every chance.
Once again it is Conor O'Sullivan. Again he looks around to try and lay it off. It's his first instinct to always retain the possession, not just give it away helter-skelter downfield. Sometimes perhaps it's a better option, but he's very careful and very cautious about how he uses possession. That's Pat O'Connor trying to get the ball out of defence for Clare. One back by Cian McCarthy, looking for a better second half now. Into space here. Cian Dillon wins the race. Doesn't get the ball, however. Patrick Cronin is there alongside him. A little pile-up of bodies. Harnedy went down, and the referee has given Cork the free, and you can judge by the booing of the Clare fans. They don't agree with it one little bit, and Davy Fitzgerald wants to add his weight as well to the argument that it shouldn't have been a free there, and the ball has been moved in now, and the referee's telling Davy Fitz, off you go there. So James McGrath not endearing himself to David Fitzgerald, the Clare manager, who's seen his team concede a free and now is in a better scoring position for Pat Horgan to hit. 6 so far for him. The margin's 3 points at this stage. Remember, it was 4 at the break. It was 8 at one stage during the first half. He should be able to get it back down to 2 here. And it's anybody's match, in spite of the fact that Clare got 3 goals from Shane O'Donnell in the first half. He's taking a long time over it, Pat Horgan, giving himself every opportunity and putting it over the bar. Some final, 3-10 to 114, but this was very controversial, and Davy Fitzgerald certainly felt that the bodies just fell over there.
Yeah, absolutely, but you know, he's saying there David freeze, but he has to keep the head now. The reality is Clare were 8 points up and they're relaxed. Cork have come back to 2 points. They're right back in this game, and Clare need now to get a grip somewhere around the middle of the field, but Cork doing all the hurling at the moment. A great first touch by Colin Ryan.
Absolutely brilliantly done. Back it comes as far as the midfielder, Colin Galvin. This would be a score to try and settle them down. He doesn't get it, puts it wide. And that is 5 wides now for Clare. They're first of the second half. 3-10 to 114. Louis Mulqueen there, one of the selectors, having a word with Davy Fitzgerald. Well, he has a terrific ability, Fitzgerald, to blend the skills of a talented group into what he hopes will be a winning All-Ireland combination. A lot of work to do yet. They had the lead, they still have it, and Cian McCarthy trying to do something about it for Cork, but cut out brilliantly. Stopped at the pass, really, by David McInerney, and then trying to pick out a collie, but the ball across to Bugler, just a little bit too long. Line ball to Cork. Clare getting a little bit edgy and frustrated in their approach at this stage. Could be playing into Cork's hands.
Yeah, and Jeremy talked about the tackling of the Cork forwards in the first, or the Clare forwards in the first half. But the Cork forwards, they're great tackling coming out there. David McInerney held up and he was forced really to put the ball out over the line.
It's got to be Cian McCarthy who's got to take it. Teddy, his dad, of course, won 2 All-Ireland medals in the 1 year. Big one in. Pat O'Connor tried to reach for it, everybody trying to get to it. Runs away, and eventually David McInerney emerges with possession. What a brilliant first season he's had at championship level, all the way through the centre here. Shane O'Neill, the other number 3. Happy to see that one picked up by Conor O'Sullivan. Good combined play in the end, and now Stephen MacDonald in the half-back line. Kept in play here by Cian McCarthy, diagonally in there, putting the pressure back on the Clare backs in this All-Ireland final replay. Coming to you live from Croke Park. In there is Seamus Harnedy.